Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our BKB Wool Market Report. We're privileged enough to have today Josh Lamb, trading manager of Endeavour Wool from Australia. Jacques, Josh, welcome.
Thanks, Leon.
Thank you.
Jacques, I think we're sitting with the fourth or fifth consecutive week that the market is in a downward trend. And I think that's going to be a good point maybe to start with Josh. What might the reason be? We've started from November. We actually had a good rise in the market up until January, mid-February, and then the market gradually started in a downward trend. What might the reason be for that?
I think probably there's several reasons, but the main reason probably is China obviously coming out of COVID restrictions in early December. So in November we had a couple of false starts with the market in anticipation of that happening, and then of course it did in December. And I think what you saw through January mostly is those mills in China that probably have sat out the last sort of 6 to 12 months in 2022, needing to start to buy a bit of wool, get their inventory back up on the possibility of being able to do more business. And we've seen that most mills have had a fair buy up in Australia in that time, from that sort of mid-December through to probably early February. And now they're taking a bit of a breather just to see where they're at. They've bought a bit of wool and they're waiting to see if the market follows. So there certainly was a lot of optimism there, particularly coming out of Chinese New Year, but that seems to have waned a little bit now that they've settled back into getting the economy going and finding out what that demand pull-through is going to be like. Things have definitely improved in China, but they have come off from where they were probably a month ago.
Yeah, we've seen big volumes of it in Australia. Even in South Africa, we offered the last 4 sales 35% of the total that we're going to expect for the season wasn't offering the last 4 sales, 5 sales.
Yeah.
So, and I believe that's in Australia as well. They had a late season with those big rains that they had.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been pushed out with the 2 sales that's been cancelled last year. And I think that's the volumes that came through. And our buyers would pin our down on 11,000 bales on a catalogue weekly offered. Otherwise, the cash flow won't make it.
Yeah. And we're seeing that in Australia as well, where cash flow has been an issue the last probably 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A lot of that's related to not being able to ship the wool out of Australia quick enough, and then on top of that, we've had pretty good volumes for the last 8 weeks. We've had up to 60,000 bales, 60,000 bales to consume, which is a lot for the market, and then we've just had a bit of an issue moving that wool as quick as we'd like. So cash flows are getting stretched at the moment, but the underlying factor is that demand definitely is softer now than it was probably in January. So it's a combination of things.
Yeah. So it's not a bad place to be at the moment. The prices that if you look at the top 3 prices that we got there yesterday, okay, that was 16, that was super fines, but we still 230 Rand margins for that micron groups.
I think we see it week on week. We see that the proper wool with good length and strength tests, they actually keep on selling well. And that's exactly what we had this week again with congratulations to Harry de Toy from Barkley with the highest price of 206 Rand. And then Willem Sillier from Vrede and Eric Louw from Tromsburg in 2nd and 3rd place. So it was with 3 beautiful clips, and they actually they sold extremely well.
Yeah. It's solid 72, 74 tail lengths, and that's what the market seems like at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen in Australia the carding side of the market hasn't been as good at this time of year as what it normally would be, but the longer wools are definitely where the demand is.
And that goes to Europe. Yeah.
And that's not too sure about what happens here week to week, but certainly in Australia, the most encouraging thing the last couple of months has been we've had India, we've had Europe, and we've had China in the market all together in the 1 week at certain times. So I think the underlying demand going forward is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think our carding market actually went very well during the last few weeks. We were sitting at a time when we couldn't export to China due to foot and mouth disease. So the carding market fell by 50-60%. and that kept on creeping back over the last few, actually 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
We're recovering well on our side, and that's something good to see. Good recovery in that short-term market.
Yeah, it certainly helps grow returns, doesn't it? Automatically.
Yeah.
And I think forward from here on, we would see more the short wool clips coming in till the end of the season, till May, when the season would close off. And so you like to see China coming back on those prems.
Yeah, just like to see them be a little bit more forceful in that sort of, that knitting area, which is where all of those prems go, into the sweater market. But yeah, probably haven't been as forceful as they have in recent years. But it means there's plenty of room for upswing. So end of the day, it's not a bad place to be at the wool market at the moment. To speculate with the market, I would say don't speculate with 1 or 2 weeks. You want to speculate 2 months.
Leaving some room for upswing. I think I had a look at the diagram, and we're about $1.5 away from the level where we should expect some resistance. So within the South African market, there's quite a few rand to move in an upward direction. So I expect, hopefully within the mid to medium term, that
$9 levels, US dollar levels, $9.60, $10. A year ago, 2 years ago, it was $10. It averaged out there. So, and we're not far off from that, and so that's why I said it. We're in a sound place.
Yeah, I think so too. We're getting from a lot of clients that expect a pretty good market in the second half of the year. So at the moment, it's still trying to find its feet with China coming out of COVID, but looking towards the end of this year and into next year, it does look fairly positive. And wool in US terms is still cheap when you look at the last 8 to 9 years. So I think it's in a good spot.
Yeah, we normally compare it to crude oil, your synthetic fibers and that. And I think they're going to get expensive with the Ukraine war, Russia war that's still going on.
Yeah.
That's not going to get cheaper soon. So what do we compare like with cotton, with your natural fibers? I think we're on par with that.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that in quite a while, so it should be interesting to have a look there. I'm not sure where we are comparing to cotton at this stage. I'm not sure. But Jacques, thanks a lot. Josh, thanks a lot for chatting with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Next week, Catalogue 25, starting to Catalogue 25, will be a one-day auction, and we will have a market report ready again. Thank you.